Good evening. This is February 5th, 2026 meeting of the Building and Standards Commission, and now call the meeting to order. The time is now 6 p.m. Roll call and work session will take place in our council workroom, which is open to the public. Meeting of the Building and Standards Commission is now in order. The time is 6 o'clock. Roll call work session takes place here. So we'll start tonight with roll call of all members present. James Donovan.
Present.
Okay, Satish Jayaraman.
Present. Yes.
Shane Jones.
Yep.
Kevin Winkler.
Here.
Savio Chaco.
Here.
Michael Linden.
Here.
Kyle Rogers.
Here.
Casey Smith.
Here.
And I am Mark Woodrow. First order of business is to begin work session as identified on item 2 of the agenda. This is open to the public for observation only. Please be aware that the interaction with commissioners and staff members is not legally permitted. I'll turn over the work session now to Stephen Schubert, Chief Building Official. Steve?
Thank you, Mark. I'm Steve Schubert. I'm the Chief Building Official for the City of Capel. We have a lot of new faces on the board, full members as well as alternates who will fill in as needed if we are not able to get informed through the full members. We also tonight have quite a few people from the City of Capel. We have Desiree Bowman that will be doing presentations for the code cases that you'll be hearing tonight. She is our Senior Code Officer for the city. We also have Jacqueline Nivens, who is our Board Secretary. If you have questions or anything like that, she's the person to reach out to. Best way to get her is via email. You guys have been reached out to her already via email. So if you do have any questions about the board or anything like that, email her and or myself, and we'll get you guys answered as best as we can. We also have several members of Code Enforcement present, as well as our Assistant Director of Community Development, Louis O'Reilly, who is somewhere, and
I'm right here.
just hiding in the back. And Kendon McGee, who is our Head of Administrative Services for the department. That's it.
All right, Desiree. Present the cases, please.
Yes, sir. So good evening, I'm Desiree Billiman. I know we do have a lot of new faces here tonight. I want to thank you for your time this evening, commissioners. I know that you guys volunteer for this, for these positions, and it takes up quite a bit of time, so thank you for that. Also, I want to recognize our co-compliance team. They worked very hard on these two cases. Bruce Lowe, if you can stand up and wave. We got Rachel Rosenstern in the back, and Corey Powell also in the back. And then, of course, our supervisor, Levi Hill. Of course, you can't see him because he says he's short. So, tonight we're going to start off with 192 South Freeport. So tonight the hearing's going to be held to determine whether the structures located at this property, 192 South Freeport, complied with the ordered action in a allotted time in accordance with the outlined order. If you guys previously remember, the ones that are still on the board, I know a lot of y'all are new, so I am going to walk you kind of through what we did. We ordered that this property be demolished or destroyed by November 3rd, 2025. And the reason why is the property here suffered a fire on July 10th of 2025. It was a total loss. The city was unable to contact Joe Charles Hardman. Unfortunately, he had passed away months prior to this fire, and we were unable to make contact with him. However, we were able to establish contact with his brother, who is now the executor and in the process of going through probate. So his brother did give us permission to go on the property and inspect the property in detail. The property was found to be unsafe and dangerous, so the city did issue notices of violations to the property owner, that would be the deceased, Joe Hardman. We are required to do that by law. We also issued those notices to Mr. Stephen Hardman, who is the executor of the estate for Joe Hardman. We required that a fence be put up around the property to secure it because it was left unsecured. And additionally, we ask that the property be demolished and repaired by September 10th, 2025. Those notices were mailed and posted on the property with the outlined due dates. So unfortunately, we were unable to get compliance through those notices, so then we turned around and filed those cases with Building and Standards Commission for further enforcement action. The commission had determined that the property is substandard and in fact in violation of our city code. So on October 2nd, 2025, commission did issue an order requiring the removal of all the structures on the property and asked that the work be done by November 3rd, 2025. And of course, copies of those orders were mailed to the property owner executor, published in the newspaper, and posted on the property. Furthermore, we also did file those orders with Dallas County Appraisal District. So unfortunately, they did not follow through with any of those orders. The city had to take on the cost to do the abatement. The city paid for the fence to secure the property while we got quotes for contractors to remove the structures that are on the property. Additionally, we plugged up a well that was on the property and had to remove 2 junk vehicles to even get access to the structures to take them down. There are liens that will be pending on this property shortly. We're currently working with finance department to start sending out the invoices and doing the lien process so that we can recover our costs. And just to let you know, the costs are close to about $60,000 for all the work we've done on this property. So tonight, I'm gonna ask that an order of discharge be issued, and that basically just closes out the case because the city did the abatement. We took the house down, there's nothing left on the property except one small concrete foundation where the well was at, and a small part of the skirting for the driveway. But everything else, foundation, driveway, all structures were removed from the property. So now I'm gonna open it up for questions. Does anybody from the commission have questions about this case, any of the orders? We also have our attorney on Zoom if you guys have any questions for our attorney. Bob Hager.
Yep, I'm here.
He's looking around, didn't see you.
Surprise, Bob is here.
Is the brother, the executor, is from the state of Texas?
He's located in Colorado. I have spoke to him on the phone, and there's some other properties that this gentleman did own that passed away, and unfortunately, Mr. Stephen Hardman is a little overwhelmed with the amount of things that are going on at these properties. He kind of was to the point of walking away. And it's still currently going through probate, the last we checked the court records, so.
What is the benefit of not closing it out?
Well, we were supposed to close it out, so that I can file with the county saying that this case is no longer open. Typically, we do that, so then when the property sells, the next person that buys it knows that there's no open cases on it. And it also just kind of ties up the case for the liens that we filed for the work that the city performed. Because when that property sells, we will collect on those liens.
And you said it's roughly $50,000?
It's floating, well, it was $50,000 just to demolish the structures.
Right.
We also took down 3 dangerous trees that were getting ready to collapse into the street. That was another $3 grand. It was $5 grand for plugging the well, and then I also removed 2 junk vehicles, which I'm working with the state on getting paperwork back for that so that we can send those off to be demolished.
Are we allowed to close it out without knowing the final amount?
Yes, yeah, because that's all that's gonna be liens on the back end.
Okay.
I just have to wait for the invoices from the contractors. Nothing stops us from, even if it's still not open. I mean, I could go and abate, without going through a case through y'all, I can go abate grass, remove grass from somebody's house and just place a lien on the property.
So basically, closing it out just means that it no longer is a hazard.
It's no longer a hazard and it is not on your guys' docket anymore.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, next one.
Next one. Okay, so 631 Stratford Lane. So this is a follow-up, similar in nature. So we're here to determine if the property owners followed the orders that were issued. The order that was issued in October 2nd of 2025. Commission did order for the structure to be repaired on or before December 8th, 2025. So just to let y'all know that the property is located on Stratford Lane, and it's about 5,000 square feet, a little bit over that. And it is located between 627 and 635 Stratford Lane. The primary residence was constructed in 2001. The owner purchased that property in 2003. The market value of this property is slightly over $1 million. Oops. Whoa. Oh, we did not want to do that. Apologize about that. Okay, so back in February of 2021, the state of Texas, if you guys recall, we got hit by a winter storm. And during that winter storm, this property took quite a bit of damage. They had pipes burst on the property, which flooded the property. Following the incident, the owners went in and gutted the majority of the first floor without obtaining the required permits. Additionally, the structure has remained vacant and unrepaired since 2021. So, due to the lack of repairs from the structure, it has remained unsafe for use, and it continues to deteriorate over time. So beginning in February of 2024, staff notified the owners of the violations through notice of violation letters that were mailed, posted on the property, emailed, and also was given in person during some meetings that we had with them. Despite several attempts to reach out to them, no repairs have been initiated. As compliance wasn't achieved, the city moved forward with trying to file a citation with Coppell Municipal Court in April of 2025. At the time the citations were issued, about an hour before court, they came in and did pay those fees. However, the conditions of the property did not improve. So due to the continued non-compliance, we forwarded the case to Building and Standards Commission. A public hearing was then conducted October 2nd of 2025. During that public hearing, the commission did find that the structure was substandard and unfit for human occupancy and violated the city codes. So this is just a recap of what the order has. We listed in the order that they complete pest control because there was rats found on the property, inside the property when we initially did some inspections. We also asked that they apply for a building permit and submit structural engineer reports within the first 30 days. Additionally, we asked that they obtained a permit, meaning the permit is issued and passed all reviews with the building inspections department. And lastly, we asked that they complete all repairs and pass final inspections by December 8th, 2025. The order also listed in there that if they did not comply, the property could be demolished at the owner's expense. So, following the order, the property owner continued to fail to apply for permits. They did not submit any engineer reports or proceed with repairs outlined in the order. So due to non-compliance, we filed a second citation with the municipal court in October of 2025. The property owner did not show up for court, and unfortunately a warrant has been issued for his arrest, and he owes an outstanding balance of $1,548.30. So on November 5th, 2025, the city performed several abatement activities, including yard work, mowing grass, taking down some dead trees, also completing the pest control services that were initially outlined in the order that they did not complete. That included setting traps in the interior of the structure while sealing up any holes or openings on the exterior so no more rats could get inside that building. So as a result of our efforts, the city has now placed 2 liens on the property for a little over $3,000. So tonight, we're asking that you guys look at this case and see if they followed the order that was outlined. So according to what we saw today, we went by the property, we have not seen any repairs. It's still vacant, unrepaired, and substandard. We checked with the building inspections department and did not see any permits on file, and there's been absolutely no progress towards compliance. So due to the continued period of non-compliance and the owner's failure to respond to any enforcement actions, we are asking that the commission issue an order of demolition, and that the commission set a deadline for this demolition, either 30, 60, or 90 days from the date that the order is signed. So I just want to clarify, if they do not meet this deadline, we give them the order, we ask them to demolish the property. If they do not do it, the city will go in and abate the property. Now, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen on, like, if you issue an order and it's 30 days, it's not gonna happen on the 31st day. The city's not gonna go in and do that. We're gonna have to obtain quotes, we're gonna have to get funding secured through city council, we have to coordinate with contractors, and I'm also gonna have to go through municipal court to get an abatement warrant, which allows me to go into the property to do this work. Additionally, I would ask that in the order that we outline some civil penalties of at least $100 per day if they don't meet that deadline. So after that deadline, they'll start getting penalized $100 a day. So any work that we do, if we end up having to demolish this house, all the abatement costs, same thing as before, we would put a lien on the property. And the city would move forward with trying to collect the fees.
Yeah, is there any existing mortgage on the property?
No, so, there is no mortgage on the property, however, when we did the title search, in your packet, it may be listed, City of Dallas did have a lien on the property for $98,000, but when the city did call me, they said that they couldn't find paperwork for the lien. So I'm not sure what's quite going on with that, but I'm working with Bob on that situation. We're trying to find out, Bob is our city attorney, and he is communicating with City of Dallas to find out if that lien has been released and if it's been paid.
Now, our October meeting, I thought we already did this. I thought we said if they don't pull the permits, then yes, is this
It's,
this
this,
administrative next step?
yes, this
Okay.
would be the actual official order. So the order that we issued before was an order of repair. We also outlined in that order that this would be the next step. Mhm.
It wasn't an auto, it was it will be the
No, sir.
And so this, are we at a point of no return? Like if we make this issue in tonight's meeting, then even if you came in and whisked up a bunch of repairs and things like that, we've already passed that point and we're moving towards it, or is there
I
still a
think that's
chance?
a Bob question.
And it might
I
be
I
for an
could
attorney.
probably
Yeah.
answer that for you,
Yeah.
Bob. Do you want me to
Yeah.
answer that?
That may be a Bob question. We obviously understand, due to the value of the structure, I think the homeowners association has even sought, individuals that live at or near have sought to even try to buy the property and rehab it for sale. The owner has basically ignored us for months. And we realize there may be what I would call economic waste to tear down such a house. What I would, and what we're really asking is to try to make it very clear to them that if they continue to ignore us, that we've got the ability to tear that house down. Hopefully, they will come to their senses and see the cost of compliance is worth the squeeze for them to spend the money to fix this house up. These are people that have means, at least they would appear to. I believe the owner is a medical doctor practicing in Plano. And we're just kind of at our wit's end. And the homeowners that live in the Stratford subdivision have endured this condition for almost 5 years now. So we need your help here. If they come forward after an order is issued, it would be my recommendation is to allow them an opportunity to comply, but I can hold this order over their head in order to ensure compliance. I don't want to be in the, I don't want ultimately for the city to have to own a residential property and have to either auction it off or find a seller or a purchaser for the property. So that's kind of where we are right now, and I'd be happy to answer any additional questions.
I guess my follow-up would be if we say we said it was a 60-day compliance order to meet this, and then they show up at day 50, does the commission have to re-meet to now establish terms by which how long they have to meet it a second time, or do we build that into the order tonight somehow? I'm just trying to think ahead.
Yeah, what I would do is recommend, if we have the ability to demo the building, it doesn't mean we have to demo the building. So I don't know that you would need to amend your order initially, because if they came forward and pulled the permits or made contact with Ms. Fullman or Mr. Schubert, our building official, to obtain the correct permits, I would give them a chance. And what we would do is file, and let's just assume they do. They finally come to their senses and come in and get the permits. I would like to hold this over their head until Mr. Schubert's office issues the right permits, and then we'll come back and ask for a reformation of the order,
Okay.
if appropriate. Because, like I say, I hate that we've gotten to this point, but it's really, we're at the last house on the block with this owner.
Why is it preferable to tear it down than to just take the cost of repairing it?
We don't
Who's
have
gonna
the
repair it?
authority to do that.
Well, who's gonna demolish it? I mean, it's the same idea, right?
Well, you would think that the owner would do that. And I don't want the building official's office to end up being a contractor. That's not our role. So this is kind of, the statutory authority we have is to demo the building and to make it safe. We've had problems with not only the building itself, but now it's become, for lack of a better term, an attractive nuisance in the community, because teenagers and whatnot gather there because they know no one lives there, and so we've had some issues with that. And so obviously it's an eyesore in the community, and these are very nice homes. And like I say, we really don't have any other authority to go in and start fixing it, because we don't own the property. And anytime we go on the property, we have to obtain administrative search warrants and whatnot. And I don't know that we have the authority to fix the building.
See, on the other hand, though, there is a homeowner association who does have authority to foreclose. And why they are so silent, I don't know. But, see, if the HOA got involved in it, they could foreclose, take it over, do what they wanted with it, restore.
Yeah, that, I would
But you see,
assume
but
that
cities
that's
don't do
enforcement.
that. Cities pretty much, you know, they don't have, you know, we can't do this, we just have to, you know, nip it in the bud and let somebody else take it when that happens. Anyway, any other questions?
If it's demolished, it would just be an empty lot then that they would own? And then we would continue to have to go and check it out to make sure it's mowed and maintained and all of that, so we'll just continue to be an issue?
Correct, but it's not gonna be, it'll be easier to maintain.
Yeah.
I can't maintain a structure that's,
Right.
there's some structural issues with the property that are starting.
Yeah, well,
It's
we could
easier to
end
mow
up
grass.
owning this property, or the homeowners association might end up owning this property. When we foreclose the lien, the court can strike the property off. It'll be ordered sold if we get, due to the value of the lot alone. And we can probably be satisfied. He doesn't lose ownership on this property as a result of anything that occurs tonight. When the lien gets enforced and he doesn't pay the lien amount, and we foreclose on it, the court could order the property be sold at auction, like sheriff's sale, just like a mortgage. And the city be paid, the city of Dallas paid if he hasn't paid that judgment. And then whatever is left after the sale would go to the property owner, assuming someone buys it at auction. Thank you.
So I do apologize, I had not planned on doing mine as a PowerPoint presentation, I was just gonna present a doc, and hopefully many have been able to add it to this. Yeah, here we go. For my portion for tonight, I'm just proposing a amendment to the 2023 National Electrical Code as currently adopted by the city of Capel. For those of you that aren't familiar, building codes come out every 3 years. National Electrical Code, new edition, is gonna be the 2026, the one we're currently under is the 2023. For our building codes, we're underneath the 2024 International Code Cycle. The next edition is gonna be the 2027, so yes, wonderful board members, commission members, you will be able to sit through the adoption of all 18,000 pages. I will try to make it as short as humanly possible. For this one, like I said, this is quick and simple. I am just changing out 2023 with 2026. The only exception to that is at the end, I do have 2 sections in here that were previously approved. And these 2 sections are in specific reference to battery storage. You know, they have to be 48 inches off the floor because with the lithium-ion batteries, the worst thing that can happen to a lithium-ion battery is something comes in contact with it. At that point, it starts to break down, starts to become an explosion and fire hazard, and nobody can put that fire out. You just sit and watch it until it's done burning. The state of Texas, through the 89th legislation, came through with a new Senate bill amending that section of the local government code, stating that a city cannot amend the National Electrical Code as it pertains to battery storage or generators. We just don't have the authority to do that anymore. The state local government code also goes so far as to state that a licensed professional can do this scope of work without benefit of permits or inspections. So even if we had the amendments in here still, state law says that we can't even enforce them. So with the adoption of the 2026 code cycle, I'm just getting rid of those 2 sections. So that just makes it a little bit quicker and easier for all of us, since for those of you that have not been part of this previously, the only sections that we are amending underneath the 2023 or for the 2026 National Electrical Code are the same sections that have always been amended. National Electrical Code is set up a little bit differently than the international building codes are insofar as identifying which department has authority, who can do what the permit requirements are, and all this stuff. There is a little bit at the end of the National Electrical Code, but we amended the beginning of it in order for it to be more in alignment with the international code cycle. Everything that's in here is the same stuff that is in the Chapter 1 of the International Building Code, Chapter 1 of the International Residential Code, Chapter 1 of the International Plumbing Code, Chapter 1 of the International Mechanical Code, and it goes on and on. So basically it just identifies that Building Inspections Department is over all of this. Building official, me, is the authority having jurisdiction over the issuance of permits, inspections, and everything else. And it just keeps us in alignment with everything else. We do have now a construction chapter for the city of Capel. That was new with the adoption of the 2024 code cycle. And that includes some of this information as well. So what I'm presenting to you guys tonight is just a preliminary look at it. What I will be doing is sending you all an email with the amended document attached to it, so you guys have time to peruse it, take a look at it, come up with whatever questions that you may or may not have, and then next time this group comes together, we'll take a deeper dive into it once you guys have had a good opportunity to read through it and get an idea of what it all entails. So tonight I'm just giving you guys a cursory overlook of what was going on. And that's it. If you guys have any questions?
So you're taking out the sections on lithium ion storage?
Yeah, well, I'm taking out the sections that made us more stringent than what's already in the electrical code.
Gotcha, okay. I was hoping I could just pile them up on my garage floor.
Absolutely, right next to the fireworks and the road fairs, perfect location. But no, the National Electrical Code already has sections in there, right, making requirements for the installation of battery backup systems. We were a little bit more stringent. Our more stringent portions are gone, which means it just goes right back to exactly what's codified, what's already written in code. Yes, sir.
when you edit it to go from 23 to 26 and send that email, are you gonna know kind of what's the difference between 23 and 26?
As you can see here, it's in the track changes. So everything that is current that I'm changing has a red line through it, and it'll have the new verbiage in there. If you're looking for the differences between the 2023 and the 2026 National Electrical Code, that is a $180 book, and it's about 400 pages. You're more than welcome to read through it. It is very dry reading for somebody who's not in the building codes. It's the sort of thing I offer my wife to read when she has insomnia. Put her out in about 5 minutes flat.
So what happens to, if this gets approved, most likely will, right? If someone had already started a remodeling project or something, has a permit pulled,
Yep.
and then we enable this,
And that's a wonderful thing about building codes. They've already taken care of all of that. So everything is based on the codes that were in place at the time of application.
okay,
So that's why it's really, really important that once somebody obtains a permit, they do not let that permit expire. One of the worst things that can happen is somebody goes through all the plan reviews and everything else, they finally get their permit issued, and then they let that permit expire. And then in the interim, we've adopted a new code cycle. So now they're starting over from scratch. They're already halfway through their project. Well, now they have to make project changes because, I'm sorry, you let that permit expire. By law, all protections of that scope of work are gone. Now it has to meet current codes.
how long is a permit usually?
Every permit that we issue is good for 180 days. If somebody wants to request an extension, please request an inspection. One of the changes I made since I became building official is our system is now set up to send a automated email 30 days prior to the expiration date, warning the permit holder of, hey, you got 30 days. This is the steps to either request an inspection or request an extension. And that 180-day clock resets every time there's an inspection, pass or fail. So if it is the 179th day, they call us out for an inspection, it's not ready for inspection, so we fail it because it's not ready for inspection, well, that just reset that 180-day clock. And that actually is quite relevant to the second case that Desiree presented. If the property owners do move forward with obtaining their permits, then yes, through permits and inspections, it can get extended out, and that's why it's very important that the commission provide definitive dates for each milestone. Otherwise, this could get dragged out for an extended period of time, and that's not what we're after. That's not what's in the best interest of our citizens who have access to what is currently a structure that needs help and may soon turn into a structure that is an immediate life safety hazard. And that's why we go for the demolition rather than trying to repair it. We're not in the job of repairing structures. We're in the job of making sure everything meets a minimum life safety standard. And that is all the building codes are, is a minimal life safety standard. They're not even best practices. This is bare bones minimum, nobody's gonna die. So once it does violate that bare minimum, and it does become a life safety issue, that's when the city has to come in, not as somebody who's gonna come in and fix it, but as the authority having jurisdiction in order to immediately mitigate that life safety hazard. Doing a repair is not immediate mitigation. Doing a removal is immediate mitigation of a life safety hazard.
Appreciate the track changes. Apologies if I influenced that from last time around. But if the rather expensive book isn't part of it, the track changes, is that on the codes that we currently have adopted and what's changing from it? What's being changed in the track changes?
So once we start moving forward with the 2027 International Code Council changes, that too will be in track changes. But I can't provide the entire document of all changes because it's not available. Nobody makes it. When a new code cycle comes out, groups such as the International Association of Electrical Contractors, they have a book that's available, and it's like the big changes, the big stuff that's changes, not all the changes. When the International Code Council comes out with their significant changes to the building code, their book is just the significant ones, not every single one, because there are a lot of changes. And, you know, I'll put all the books together, it's 11,000 pages that you have to read. So, yeah, I can't provide every single change of all the codes, but I can try and get you guys hooked up with links to the significant changes.
All I'd be curious about is I know sometimes you have recommendations or our own for us that are different than the books they put out, just what we're doing that's unique is something that would be nice to know.
Yes,
Separate.
and for those of you that weren't part of the commission previously, the last time I went through with the code changes, it was a lot of data, and I was trying to streamline it, make it as minimalist as possible, and that ended up being too minimalist. So I ended up having to do a second presentation, a lot more data, but it was more relevant data. This is what the code says, this is what I want to change it to. This section of code says this, we want to change it to this. And I'll be doing that presentation when we start looking at the 2027s, most likely next year. 2027 codes won't be available until October of this year, and it will take me a little while to make it through there to start generating that list of recommendations. So, anybody else have any questions? All right, well, that's all I've got for you all. Thank you very much.
Okay, so our work session is 6:36 right now. Our work session is adjourned. We'll reconvene at 7:00. Okay, good evening, everybody. The February 5th, 2006 meeting of the Building and Standards Commission is now reconvened in the regular session. Item number 4, citizens' appearance. I understand no one signed up for citizens' appearance. So we'll move on to item number 5, the election of commission officers. As I understand, there's been a clerical glitch with this, and we will get back to, we will shelve this until a later date when the city attorney.
If I may,
Yes, sir.
the city attorney is in the process of amending our bylaws for both the Building and Standards Commission as well as the Board of Adjustment. He wanted to hold off since it is not absolutely necessary that we do an election tonight. He wants us to just hold off until he is done performing the audit of those bylaws and has the new bylaws ready for the group to use.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman, as stated by Mr. Schubert. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hagan. Okay. So we'll move on to item number 6, approval of the October 2nd, 2025 Building and Standards minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes?
Yes.
Is there a motion by the board?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Raise your hand.
All right.
Okay, motion's approved. Okay, item number 7, public hearing from 192 Freeport Parkway. A public hearing to determine if the structure located on the property addressed as 192 South Freeport Parkway, John Vest, ABST 1508 PG 655 TR 15 ACS 1.018 in the City of Coppell, Dallas County, Texas, is substandard and violates the City of Coppell Ordinance, Article 15-14-2, adopting the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code and amending portions. Desiree, would you present the case, please?
Thank you. This hearing is going to be to determine whether the structures located at 192 South Freeport in Coppell, Texas, complied with the ordered action within the allotted time with the standards outlined in our city code. Back in October of 2025, the Building and Standards Commission determined that the structures on the property are indeed substandard and violate our city code. Order was issued to remove or demolish all structures located on the property on or before November 3rd, 2025. So just to recap, 192 South Freeport is a one-story structure. It's a single-family residence that expands over 1,500 square feet. The primary residence was constructed in 1952, and the owner had purchased this property in 1996. Following a structure fire on July 10th of 2025, which resulted in a total loss, city staff was unable to contact the property owner at the time. Unfortunately, Mr. Joe Hardman had passed away a couple of months before. City did do a title search and was able to obtain the brother's information, who is now the executor of the estate. We were able to make contact with the brother, Stephen Hardman, and we were able to obtain consent to go inside and do the interior and exterior inspection of the property. Based on the inspection findings, the city realized that the property was in fact unsafe and substandard. The city did issue notice of violation letters, which is a tool to ask the resident or the property owner to move forward with repairs or remedy any violations on the property. City code compliance team did request that a fence be placed around the property to secure the property and that the structures be demolished by September 10th, 2025. All those notices were mailed, posted on the property, and sent by first class and certified mail to not only Mr. Hardman, Joe Hardman, who is deceased, but also Stephen Hardman. When compliance was not achieved within those set timeframes, the city code compliance team did file the case with Building and Standards Commission for further enforcement action. At the time of the hearing on October 2nd, 2025, the commission determined that the property was in fact substandard and in violation. So the commission did order order of demolition, asking all structures on the property with all work to be completed on or before November 3rd. Those copies of the order of demolition was mailed to the property owner Joe Charles Hardman, who is deceased, and also the estate of Joe Charles Hardman, who is Stephen Hardman. We also published those orders in the newspaper and posted them on the property. Due to the failure to comply with the commission's order, the city was required to take action. We installed a fence around the property to prevent any unauthorized individuals from entering the property. We also removed 2 junk vehicles and demolished the structures on the property. All work was charged to the property owner, and unfortunately, they did not pay those liens, and we are in the process of they did not pay the invoices, and we're in process of filing those liens. So tonight, staff is recommending that we move forward with the order for discharge because the city did move forward with abatement, and now the property is not in violation anymore at this time and meets the minimum standards set forth. This concludes my presentation, and I request my testimony in this presentation be accepted and entered into the record as evidence in this case.
Thank you. Please admit the presentation as evidence into the record. Are there any questions for Desiree by the board? Is the owner or representative of that property here to make any statement on this, in this regard? Okay, as there's not, I'd entertain a motion.
So, and maybe this is a question for Bob, but if we're looking at this, then our motion would be that if this is what the commission would like to do, that the commission order this case to be discharged and closed, is the deal? Okay,
That would be the correct motion, yes, sir.
Thank you, I win. Yeah, I would make a motion that the commission order this case to be discharged and closed as the city fulfilled the requirements outlined in the order.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, the motion passed. Thank you. Item number 8, public hearing. A public hearing to be held to determine if the structure located on the property addressed as 631 Stratford Lane, Stratford Manor, Block A, Lot 8, in the city of Coppell, Dallas County, Texas, is substandard and violates the City of Coppell Ordinance, Article 15-14-2, adopting the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code and amending portions therein. Desiree, would you please?
Thank you. This hearing will be held to determine whether the structure located at 631 Stratford Lane did comply with the ordered actions listed in the order for repair that the commission issued on October 2nd, 2025. In that order, we asked that there were certain repairs and requirements done, and that all repairs be done on or before December 8th, 2025. 631 Stratford Lane is a 2-story structure that expands over 5,000 square feet. The primary residential structure was constructed in 2001, and the owner purchased the property around January 13th, 2003. The market value is currently a little bit over $1 million. In February 2021, Texas unfortunately was hit with a winter storm that caused quite a bit of damage, and this was one of the houses that did unfortunately take damage when the pipes in the home did burst. Following the incident, the owners did gut the majority of the first floor without obtaining permits. The structure has remained vacant and unrepaired since 2021. Due to the lack of repairs, the structure remained unsafe for use and continued to deteriorate over time. So beginning in February of 2024, staff reached out to the owners through first-class mail, certified mail, and posting notices of violation on the property, also through email and verbal communication, asking that the repairs be done to this property to bring it into compliance. Despite repeated outreach, no repairs were initiated. As compliance was not achieved, the city escalated the enforcement action by taking the first step of going to municipal court by issuing those citations in April of 2025. Citations were issued and later paid shortly before our court hearing, even though the structure's condition did not improve and no permits or repairs were completed. So due to continued noncompliance, the structure the structure continued to be in substandard condition, and the case was eventually forwarded to Building and Standards Commission. So we had a hearing on October 2nd, 2025, before the Building and Standards Commission, and the commission determined that the structure was in fact substandard and unfit for human occupancy, and the conditions of the property did violate the city code. So just to recap, the order that was issued on October 2nd, 2025 is an order of repair. Within that order, we asked that the owners complete pest control abatement by October 12th, 2025. Additionally, we requested that they apply for a permit application and submit a structural engineer report within 30 days after that order was signed. Furthermore, we asked that they actually get an issued permit, meaning that they pass all the permit reviews with our building inspections department, and they can move forward with those repairs. We asked that that be issued and completed by November 6th. And then additionally, we asked that they actually complete all repairs and get the final passing inspections with the building inspections department by December 8th, 2025. In that order, we additionally outlined if they did not do any of the repairs or move forward with any type of compliance efforts, that this meeting would take place and that we could move forward with demoing the property. So following the issuance of the issue of the order, the owners failed to apply for the permits, they failed to submit any kind of engineering reports, or commence any repairs outlined in the due dates in the order. Furthermore, because their lack of response, the city went and filed a second complaint or citation with Coppell Municipal Court on October 21st, 2025. Unfortunately, the property owner did not show up for their hearing that was set in January, and they failed to appear. So at this point, the municipal court has issued a warrant for his arrest, and he also has a balance due with the municipal court of $1,548.30. So on November 5th, 2025, the city performed abatement activities. We went in and did the items that were listed on that order that they did not complete, including mowing the grass and completing pest control service. We went inside the interior of the structure, and pictured here you can see that there is a dead rat. And this was found on the first floor in a bathroom. So our pest control team went in and did place traps and sealed up the holes on the exterior to prevent any more rodent infestation. So through our efforts, the city did unfortunately had to place some liens on the property, and currently there are 2 liens totaling over $3,000. So tonight we are looking at determining if the owners did comply with the order that was issued on October 2nd, 2025. As of today, the code compliance team did go out to the property and we saw no repairs done. There hasn't been any additional efforts to obtain permits with our building inspections department, and no progress towards compliance has been made. So due to the continued non-compliance and the owner's failure to respond to enforcement actions, the city staff is requesting that the commission issue an order directing the property owners to demolish the structure at 631 Stratford Lane. Furthermore, a suggestion and recommendation from staff is that you give a actual compliance deadline. That could be 30, 60 days, 90 days, whatever that the commission would like to do. You could set a hard date for the order for them to comply. Furthermore, I just want to reiterate that if they do not comply with this order, the city can go in and do the abatement. That doesn't mean that we will do it directly after that due date. The city has other steps they have to take. We need to get approval through council for the funds to move forward with demolition. There's also abatement warrants that we'll have to get and hire contractors. So it will take us a little bit of time. So if you do decide to do 30 days, just know that on the 31st day, we will not just go in and knock down the building. It's probably going to take us 60 to 90 days to get quotes, get approval through council to move forward with demolition, if that is the route that ends up happening. Additionally, I would request that in this order that we place some kind of civil penalties. So after the deadline, if they do not comply with either bringing the property up to standards or doing the demolition for the property, that we charge them $100 per day that fines until that structure is fully removed or brought into compliance. And at this point, as discussed earlier, any kind of abatements that we do, the city's going to issue an invoice to those property owners. And if they do not pay within 60 days, they will have a lien placed on their property. And the city will go forward on those liens and what they have to do for the enforcement action. This concludes my presentation, and that I ask that my testimony and this presentation be accepted and entered into the record as evidence in the case.
Thank you, Desiree. I'd like to admit that presentation as evidence into record. Is there any questions for Desiree from the commission?
You'd said that there's been the continued kind of non-compliance and a lack of communication of any kind recently from the property owners. Do we know when the last date of any sort of action taken was?
There's been no action taken on the property. The last time that we met with them was about a year ago in January. They came into the office and we sat down and did have a discussion about trying to get this property into compliance before coming to the board. And they said that they were in the process of doing an insurance claim, but possibly not getting the money that they needed to do the repairs. And I will let the property owners who are here tonight detail that a little bit more. But there really hasn't been any effort for them to apply for a permit. They haven't brought any plans in. They haven't met with Building Inspections Department. I will say we have abated the grass, I believe, twice now on the property. So just general property maintenance hasn't been taken care of either. Removed a fence in the back that did fall down recently from storms, and a tree that actually collapsed in the backyard and was partially on the neighboring property. So there's been no property maintenance, at least for the last year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Desiree? As there is none, is anybody here to speak about this case? If you are, please stand up and take your oath. Anybody else? Just one? Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that your testimony you're about to give before the Building and Standards Commission is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. I'm sorry, speak into the microphone, please. State your name and address for the record, please.
Last name is Ahmed, and I'm part owner of the house. Like, my husband is there, Salman Ahmed. So,
Would you tell us your story, please?
yeah, we just emailed you guys 2 emails from our attorney. Did you guys receive it?
Is your attorney here?
He's not here today. He said if needed, he will come by and talk to you. But did you guys receive those emails? It was sent to Desiree.
It should have been sent to the city attorney.
It was kind of the response for your questions. Like, you guys are saying there are no repairs done. We are still waiting for funds from the insurance. Insurance has not provided us the funds to repair the house.
Let me ask you a question. When did the damage occur?
4 years ago.
Okay, 2021?
Yes. The mitigation, the house he was showing is not actually dangerous. It's the mitigation which is done, and they have taken off the walls and the carpet and the floors. So it's not dangerous. Somebody entered the house. The wall she's showing, it was a clean wall, marble wall in the master bedroom. Somebody entered the house and threw something on the wall. And that's the only spot shown in the entire house, and it's dangerous. You guys are entering the property without our permission. There are so many valuables sitting in the house. I'm afraid who is stealing the stuff from there. You know, it's very, very strange. All our valuables are there. It was upstairs locked in a room. Now that lock is broken. And we even filed with the police the report for, like, somebody entered the house. Somebody is stealing the things from our house. And city is promoting it.
I also have a question. I'm the owner.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Salman Ahmed.
Oh my God.
Salman
Please state your name and address, please, for the record.
Salman Ahmed.
And your
I'm
address?
the owner of the house,
And your address is?
631 Stratford Lane.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have a feeling sitting back there. There is
Did you,
some-
wait, just a second, please. You didn't take the oath. Would you please?
Sure.
Do you
Okay,
solemnly
I will-
swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It's the whole truth.
Thank you. Is there anybody else going to speak tonight? Okay, thank you. Please continue.
I'm just wondering, is there some kind of agenda? I noticed a lot of people making video of my wife's testimony. What is it all about? Why are
Why
they
don't you
making
ask
video?
them?
I'm not making anybody's video. I'm just attending a meeting.
Videos should not be allowed.
Why are they making videos? What is so special about this case?
I can answer that if you'd like. I believe she's with the local newspaper for the college, or for the high school. They attend all of our public meetings, they record us, they interview us, so.
And back there, and that lady, and then there is another lady.
Okay, but it
this
is a
young
public,
lady.
sir, it's a public meeting, and it is recorded, and anybody can actually watch this on Zoom.
That's fine. I was
Okay.
just amazed, you know.
Yes, sir.
Meeting, anybody can record anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let
It's a
me-
public
let
space.
me
You could
see.
record
That's-
me.
You
that's
can
fine.
go inside my home, throw something on the wall and show on the screen.
Ma'am.
The house is so dangerous, there's something, the entire house is very clean. It's mitigated.
No, ma'am, it's not.
mitigated.
I'm,
Do you understand the word mitigated?
That clearly shows that there is something smacked against the wall.
okay, but
How
that's,
how would a mouse?
That's
how-
enough. One at a time, please.
Okay, let me-
I would like to answer your question.
How would a mouse die on the wall?
It's not on the
floor?
wall, it's on the floor, sir. That's your bathroom floor, your main bathroom.
Threw the mouse in the house.
No, ma'am, there's
Yes.
a bunch of
There are
droppings.
no-
We're not
there
gonna
are no
argue
mice in
about
the
it.
house.
It's already been
My
deemed
house-
as a
my
substandard
house is still
structure,
very clean.
and you will not
There are
continue
no
to
mice
speak
in the
over
house.
us. It's
There
not
are
up for
no-
discussion.
There are no mice in the house.
Ma'am.
Somebody threw it to make a case. Somebody installed it there so they can make a case here. Okay? The house is still very clean, it's mitigated, it's not dangerous.
Okay. As far as now the repair or the plan of action, it took almost 2 years to come to terms with insurance initially. They paid $70,000 to the mitigation company, and to us they gave only 1/3 what it will cost to repair the house. Then they put us through another process. Then now we have filed a lawsuit against them. And, we are trying to come, it will take about $500,000 to $600,000 to fix the interior of that house. Okay, and they have given us about $200,000. I have not even cashed it sitting there. Okay, as far as maintenance and the other stuff is concerned, there is $20,000 per year tax on that house, which is paid on time in a timely fashion. So it's not that, affording or something. I think within the neighborhood, there is some kind of agenda about my property.
See, what happened was, initially neighbors came to us.
Step up to the microphone if you're going to speak to the board, please.
Yes. Initially, some of the neighbors came to us that we should sell the house to them for the price of the land. When we refused, they have started taking this kind of action. There is nothing in the house. There were no mice in the house. My house is still very clean. It's mitigated. It's not dangerous. They have taken off the walls. They have taken off the floors. It just needs to be built back. For that, we need funds.
Tell me what your plan is to get this finished.
We tried.
Do you
with
have a plan?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We
What
tried
is
with
it?
insurance. Insurance is not cooperating, so we have hired an attorney. He has filed a lawsuit to collect the funds so we can repair the house.
Okay. So in the meantime, your house sits in disrepair, and unmaintained until the city steps in to maintain it, and decreases the property values of your neighbors, and you're okay with this?
Trust me, from outside, you cannot tell that the house is mitigated inside. It's just the neighbors. I'm afraid they enter my house every now and then. There was valuable stuff. We are living in an apartment because our house is damaged. We don't have another house. This is our only house, okay? So we are living in an apartment right now. And like all our valuables were still in the house, we locked it upstairs in a media room, with the lock outside. Somebody broke the lock, somebody broke the door. People are entering the house, taking away our stuff. And city is promoting it.
So the city asked you to meet them out there to go over the condition of the house, and you didn't meet them. And then,
See-
wait. And then they asked for another meeting, and you didn't meet them either,
Okay.
so, and then you tried to postpone, so they got a warrant
Them too.
to legally go into your house to see exactly what was going on, and that's what we saw,
Okay,
that's what we saw
so
in the evidence.
I have
So
an answer.
I'm not finished talking yet,
Okay, okay,
okay?
go ahead.
So, they've been asking you to fix your house for 5 years. And you've been putting it off because you have an issue with the insurance company, but that has
Some
nothing to
shukran.
do with your obligation to the,
Yeah, but like,
to the,
where
no,
should we-
that has nothing to do with your obligation to the city.
Yeah, but where should we get the funds from? I have 3 kids.
Well, the thing is, if you
Let me-
can't, you see, the thing is,
Let
if
me
you.
answer your questions
Stop.
now.
Don't talk over me.
I'm not talking over you. I'm trying to explain it to you that we
No,
don't have
I'm
funds.
trying to explain to you that you've been putting this off way too long. You have no plan of action. And if you have no plan of action, you do have a choice. You can sell the property and let somebody else fix it up, and you go buy another house.
Did I tell you just now
Or-
that this is our only house? We have 3 kids.
So,
Let me say now,
Mm-hmm.
we have 3 kids. My daughter is in Harvard Law School.
Mm-hmm.
Her fee is $100,000. I have a younger son who's developmentally delayed, and I have to stay with him. He's the only one who's working. Okay? We don't have enough funds. We are paying almost $10,000 for 2 apartments, one for the kids, one for us. Okay? So we don't have enough funds at this time to repair the house on our own. We are waiting for the insurance to give us the
There's-
funds so we can repair the house.
well,
And the house, you can go inside, it's really not dangerous. This wall, which is shown on the picture, somebody did it. It's like somebody threw something on the wall. No, mice, there were no mice in the house. The house is still very clean. We lived there for almost 20 years. Somebody threw something on one wall, and then I don't know if she did on her own and took a picture of it. There's nothing else. You can go for, like, the entire house is clean. There's nothing in there which warrants that it's a health hazard or something.
so what is your plan?
I just told you that we have filed a lawsuit. Attorney is contacting the insurance. Hopefully, he says that hopefully it will be resolved short of lawsuit. As soon as we get the funds, we will repair house because our kids are also longing to be in a house. It's very difficult. My daughter comes from college, and she cannot stay with us. She is in a separate apartment. She says, Mom, it does not look like I'm living with you. Okay? It's very hard.
Do you have a solid date at which your house will be completed?
In that regard, I would say that.
A solid date?
Let me answer that, please, that, maybe the attorney can contact you. There are quicker way to resolve with insurance, We are trying to figure it out as quickly as possible. And then, yes, of course, once we have the funds, we will, if it goes short of litigation, it will be within 2 to 3 months, I would say. We'll get the money. But if they choose other course, then I really don't have any control over that.
Where were you in October when we had this meeting?
What's it?
October?
When we had, October 2nd, when you were asked to show up in front of this board and you didn't show.
Oh, he was at the hospital. He was doing an emergency, and I stay with my son who is developmentally delayed. I don't have a caretaker. Okay, so I stay with him 24/7. And yeah, you were working. I think you informed them, but they still wanted to continue with their whatever meeting.
I think I reached out to Desiree and I told her that I got stuck.
And she didn't care. She said the meeting will go on.
but you know, I
Quick
tried to reach
quick
out a couple of
questions.
times.
Similar on the 16th with the municipal court? That's a different deal entirely.
16th on the municipal court, initially first I paid the charges, whatever surcharge was there on the first time. Second time, we had an attorney and I called the court clerk and I told her that he is responding, he's sending you a letter. And she said that will be fine. And, you know, I think there was some kind of miscommunication there, but later he did provide them a letter that he's representing me. And I think I didn't even know that if there was a arrest warrant for me.
I have another complaint against the city. See, there was one more hearing, I think in August. My daughter, as I told you, she's a law student, and during the summer, they work for law firms. So this year, she was working in LA. She had to be there for 2 months. And the court date was conflicting with the dates. We were supposed to be in LA to find her a place to live. So we informed the court. We provided them the proof that we are going to LA to find a place for my daughter to be safe and live in LA for 2 months to do her job at a law firm. The court gave us the extension, and city knew that we were not in the town. They did not even inform us. They went to our property and they picked up our fence, which is against.
Extension was granted. Despite that, they went there, they did whatever they needed to do, and they charged me $1,700, picked up I think it will cost me about $20,000-$30,000 just to remove, to put that fence back.
No, the problem was we filed for extension. We were given an extension. We were not in town. How come
when you
like
say
the
it'll
city
cost
had
that-
the authority to just go in our absence without our permission?
I
and
believe
go
the
and-
extension was denied.
No, it was not denied.
That extension was in effect.
No, that extension was not denied.
I
But
believe
Desi took
they're
the step.
talking about the extension with municipal court to appear because it got rescheduled on the docket. That
see.
doesn't cancel the fact. That was only for the substandard
did not
structure.
give us any warning
I
that you
did,
are
ma'am,
going to the property.
you continually
to pick
talk
up the
over
fence.
staff. I cannot
Ma'am.
answer the question if you
God.
continually talk over us. Once again, there are letters that we have sent, multiple. I can.
I called you. I said, I remember.
You
I
called
spoke
me
to you.
after the
Yes.
fact, ma'am, and it was
Yes,
not a very nice
I told you that
conversation. It
we
is
were
just
not
like
in
you
town.
communicating the
Yeah,
same way you're
we are
doing
not-
tonight.
we are
You do not let me speak, you do not let me
Really?
explain. We have
Your
sent
attitude
notices
is
to you, I
very,
have
very
them
clear. You're
documented.
discriminating.
Ma'am,
I am not discriminating
Yes,
against
are.
you.
Yes, you are.
ma'am, when somebody is speaking to you, stay quiet.
Sir, I have a question. If it was your house, somebody takes away your fence without your knowledge, without informing you, how would you feel?
Well, they would have informed me, and I would have responded.
They never informed us.
Any other questions for these folks?
Yes, briefly. Could you tell me what,
Who's
if
your
any,
relative
actions
on?
you've taken to repair the property at this time?
Excuse me?
What, if any, actions have you taken to repair the property since the damage occurred 5 years ago?
We have hired an attorney, as I told you
Excuse me,
guys
if I may
earlier.
clarify, physical repairs.
Yeah, physical repairs can happen only if you have money in your pocket. Nobody's gonna come and do it for free, is it?
Okay, do I understand the response to the question and that you have taken no physical repairs to the property since the damage occurred?
Well, can I?
That's a
I-
yes or no response.
I have a check sitting for $125,000 on my desk for a year and a half. What should I do with that much? I cannot start repair
Whosoever.
because then you guys gonna say within this time period, and then I will have to put like almost like $500,000. Insurance is supposed to. I'm still paying insurance, $1,000. I don't know, $800 a month.
Sir,
And then on top of that, they have not paid me any money back. And, I mean, it's a non-stop expense. I don't want to initiate a process which I cannot finish. There are a whole lot of goes into it. When freeze happened, the the contractors will prepare an estimate at 10 or 15% to the total cost of the building, which turns out to be $50,000. Insurance refuses to pay that estimate. Just to give you an estimate, they were charging $40,000 to $50,000. I asked them to insurance, would you reimburse it? They said no. Because of the freeze, they were so busy, housing market was hot, rents were up. So it took me almost 18 months to get an estimate on that house. And then the other issues started coming up with insurance. They paid to the mitigation company $70,000. To me, they paid close to $200,000 total. And I was telling them, hey, it was a model house. The cost of mitigation the build cost should be 5 to 6 times of the mitigation cost. They were paying me only 2 times or 2.5 times the cost. So that's where the problem is. We are trying to figure it out. I'm trying to. You cannot say I have abandoned it, or like the first case you brought in this meeting, that the person died. I've been as good as possible as can. How many people stay there, do not live there, and pay $21,000 or $25,000 or $30,000 almost taxes per year without delaying a single day? I'm a responsible person, but I see a strange, dynamic over here. I'm not going to just give it up for $230,000 or $300,000, or somebody else has offered me $700,000 from the neighborhood. I mean, there is something going on. I'm not just going to give it up like this.
I obviously appreciate the financial concerns. It's a large undertaking. Have you communicated any of these issues with the building official? Have you applied for any permits? Have you taken any action in communicating with the city about these issues or about applying for permits? Anything?
Well, let me ask you, I'm not as knowledgeable for the process as you are. I really don't know, like, if I come to the city and ask for permit and then not follow through it, what are the consequences then? Should I be? I really don't know if they will put me handcuffs and take me to the jail. I really don't understand the legal ramifications of this process.
Mr. Ahmed, I guess what I'm looking for, I appreciate you being diligent and responsible. What I'm looking for, have you tried to work with the city? Because I'm looking at the history and the record here. There's a lot of non-appearances, no communication.
Well, I'm an anesthesiologist, okay? There are doctors who can leave. I'm doctor who is hooked up to the patient, basically. I cannot leave. Certain dates I will not be, and I'm the sole provider. And if you don't fulfill your commitment to a surgeon, then I will lose that surgeon, basically. So but I'll try to be, more.
There were several occasions when we tried communicating with them. She was unresponsive.
Yeah, on the microphone, please.
Yeah. She chose not to respond. Whenever I tried reaching her, she did not respond. Even by phone or anything, she refused. Okay? So I don't know what's going on with her, but she is really not the person to talk to.
So
I don't know why
I
she's
have
in
a
that position.
question. On April 2025, there was a notice sent that there are high grass in the premises, in the property, both inside and outside out. Until January or last December, no action taken.
That's not true.
As per the notifications.
No, we have like bills we can show you.
Ma'am, he's speaking. Be quiet until he's finished, if you please.
So as per the records, from April until last November or December, the grass was not cut. That's when the city had to intervene, go to a court to get a warrant, and then they had to do the property maintenance.
Okay.
Any reason why this was not maintained, at least the high grass?
Okay. You know what's going on? The people who work, the yard work in the neighborhood, the neighbors ask them not to do on our house. I have called several people who work in that street, And they said that they don't want to lose their job at the other house because the owner asked them not to work at our house. So we have to really find somebody from Dallas to come over and do the job. And we have paid at least 3 times $2,000 to clear up everything.
Is it
But-
between the month April to December last year?
Yeah,
You maintained?
yeah, we must have a bill, like somebody charged us, I don't know how much, $2,000, $2,200 to clean up everything. But the problem is, the people who work in Capel, the neighbors ask them not to do our home. So when you ask somebody to come from Dallas, either like they come one time and then they say that it's like it's too much gas they have to use, so they cannot go to Capel. And I don't know. I have some text somewhere. I can show you that like they said that like the person he's working for asked him not to work at 6:31. So we were really, we were tired. We didn't know what to do. Like, I don't know, it's like
I have
neighbors.
tried so many times to get somebody regularly over there. They come once or twice, and then they stop coming.
Yeah, because
I can show you, if I can pay $30,000 without living there every month, $80 water bill every month, $100 electric bill every month, automatic withdrawn, I can pay somebody $20, $30, $40, $50 a week or 2 weeks. I mean, I can afford, thank God, but at the same
our neighbors are just pushing us to sell the house for the price of land to them. That's why they are asking.
I think there is a lady I recognize in this crowd who were very disappointed when I said, no, I'm not giving it up. They offered me $700,000. But I know if I finish it, it's worth $1.5 million on Zillow. Check it.
One last time, as part of the commission, we want to know, do you have a solid date? I understand you're doing everything within your powers to get things done, but do you have a solid date?
See, if you can read the attorney's letter, like, I think after he gets some kind of communication from the insurance,
Then we will have.
he can provide you some insight on it. But right now, it's just like he has filed the lawsuit. He has given he has sent a letter to the insurance company. He's still waiting on the response. And he gave us those letters to give it to you guys and said that if there are further questions, he will be able to answer those for you.
I would
तुम
say
चुप
to
कर जाओ,
that the
अब
process is started.
तुम चुप
If
कर
it
जाओ,
finishes,
तुम
then
चुप कर
I can, we will finish it once I have funds, immediately we will start working on it and finish it.
Any other questions for the homeowner?
चुप कर जाओ, तुम चुप कर जाओ.
And one more question to
Thank you.
get back. Can I, is there a process to start for the,
I would defer that question to city staff.
You can ask city staff at another, after this meeting.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. You may sit down. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak about this case? Please stand up and take the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before the Building and Standards Commission is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Kim Greenberg. I moved to 615 Stratford just 2.5 years ago. So the house has been empty. I didn't know the neighbors or anything like that. The reason I wanted to speak is because they had offered their house for sale, and I had a real estate agent. My husband and I were about to get married, and we were looking for houses in Capel. We visited the house when it was for sale in the year 2020, and it was completely empty. There was no furniture, no beds, no anything. I've been in their house. I saw the dining room. It had this weird red paint thing going on. Upstairs, there was no furniture. It's just a completely empty second floor with a massive game room kind of area with nothing. So that was in 2020. This event happened February 2021. My parents just went through a move from Irving to Plano. They moved into a retirement place. Their insurance company immediately stopped their homeowner's insurance because the property was vacant. That is what my parents were told. This literally happened a few weeks ago. So this is the only reason I know this. So my hypothesis is that they had vacated the home before the freeze, the flood. The insurance company probably challenged them and isn't going to pay because they had vacated the home so much prior. And they're saying they're arguing about insurance, but there probably is no insurance. I think 3 times they said things to contradict themselves in this last few minutes. So I'm a new neighbor. I know my other neighbors are frustrated with this. I know gardeners who say these guys don't pay them. Like, there's all these discussions happening in the neighborhood because I spent $1,865,000 for my home. And now my $1,800,000 that I spent is now valued at $1,500,000. Our street has gone down $300,000, at least my house valuation now. I just had a professional evaluation done. Capel is not a place where real estate goes down. Capel is a place where there's growth, not our street. And part of the problem here is that we have these vagrants who are walking into that house. It's a blonde woman, she's pregnant, there's a man with her, they're coming all around, hanging out in the backyard probably. I haven't seen, well, a couple of us have seen them wandering around, but I just want to express my frustration as another neighbor. I'm new to this whole problem. I don't know these people at all. I just know they did not live in that house when that flood happened. The fact that they're saying there's stuff in their house is crazy. They're just telling you lies. That's all I have.
Thank you. Sit down, please.
Hi, my name is Ruth Sine. I'm at 638 Stratford Lane. I have lived there for the last 10 years. I can attest to what my last neighbor just said. And although I'm empathetic to them and their fight with the insurance, we also had a lightning strike on our home in October of 2020. So I went through that struggle with insurance. It did not last longer than it needed to be because I was vigilant on it, and we lived in the home and were able to push insurance to make things happen. So I would disagree that it would take that long on that note. But my biggest concern is the fact that I have 5 children. Our oldest recently left for college, but I have a senior through 2nd grade, and it is not a place where I let my kids even come close to that side of the neighborhood. I asked them to stay on our side of the neighborhood, not on that side, because we have seen bobcats literally living back there. We have seen the trees come down. We have seen the fences come down. We have seen the rodents. We have seen the animals, and it is creating a problem for our own homes as we see those migrate into our areas. So as was said before, it is in fact a hazard. Whether they want to admit to that is their own problem, but it is in fact a hazard. I would also say that it is true that they were not living on that property before the freeze. In fact, I was the one that turned off their water during the freeze because I saw the water coming out, and I went in and turned it off from the main street when I turned off several other neighbors when I called and said, hey, can I turn off your water? I never heard from them before turning it off, and actually, Solomon has never been the most pleasant person to engage with, so I was worried about turning his water off, but I did it because I knew that we would have bigger issues if we did not. So that is not true that they were living in that, although they can deny that. The other concern I have is, them saying that neighbors tried to buy it and tried to lowball them. Neighbors did in fact try to buy it because we did not want the issue that we have now. Not because we were trying to lowball them, not because there was an agenda. I am recording it because my husband cannot be here, so I want him to see and understand what is happening today. There is no ulterior motive except for we want the situation to be resolved. And I feel personally that our neighborhood has been more than patient in allowing the city to do their due diligence, to do this process out, and I appreciate your help. You have been very transparent with us, even when it has been frustrating to us to not see it move quickly enough. So I disagree with a lot that they have to say, but I think the biggest thing that I want you to take home is there are children living on the street, lots and lots of children, and it is not a safe place for them. There are children to one side of the street, and the other side, there are no children, but those children that live on the side of the street have had to incur a lot of the difficulties of not being able to go into their backyard because of worry of the fence being dropped down, the trees being on it, and also animals that run around in that neighborhood.
Thank you. Step up to, anybody else want to speak? We'll let everybody else speak first, please. Okay, you can come up and state your piece.
So these two neighbors,
Wait till you get to the microphone, please.
these two neighbors who came and spoke, they are the ones who offered $600,000 and $700,000 to buy the house. And since then, they have an agenda to just make sure that either the house is demolished or sold to them for that price. It's so unfortunate. Like, neighbors are never like this. But I'm feeling disgusted at the way they are lying, that we don't have even insurance. How can a grown-up woman come and lie in front of so many people on behalf of others that they don't have even insurance, whereas you have the attorney's letter that they are talking to the insurance? And they kind of admitted that they are like stopping the people who work there to not work at our house. And where is the danger coming from? Like, our house is closed, where the kids are, how the kids are entering our property to like be endangered there. I fail to understand their logic. And these are the two women who offered very low price for the house. And when we refused, since then we have been facing all this. And probably they're friends with Desiree, because they were appreciating that, oh, she's very helpful. Maybe she can help them buy the house or demolish it. It's like, honestly, I don't know. Like, there are so many people sitting, you all have houses, you all have kids. Just think in your heart and your mind what's going on here. What is being done? What kind of discrimination is going on here?
And hopefully, I do understand meaning of oath. I think I can show you $125,000 check tomorrow from insurance. You know, they will not just hand me, I mean, they asked me why you have not cashed it. I said, that will not suffice. You know?
I'm not sure that we.
She questioned.
We're not.
She
No,
just
no,
questioned.
I'm talking right now. I'm not saying we don't care if you have insurance. We don't care if they offered you money for your house. But for 5 years, your house has been in the state, and the city has been trying to get you to fix this house for 5 years. You're not showing up. You have a warrant for your arrest. You didn't come to the October meeting. We heard from all your neighbors in October. We gave you deadlines to fix the house, and I don't know that anyone is understanding or being. It believes you if you say that you're going to fix the house. You sound like you're successful, you're paying your property taxes, your priorities need to be fixing this house. And you have not shown anyone through the evidence that you're going to do that.
I'm sorry to say one thing. The city got involved only after these ladies offered something.
The city
for
got involved because your
Not for
house
5
is in
years.
disrepair.
No, not for 5 years. City just got involved when we refused to sell them the house. These two ladies probably are friends with her.
Was your house damaged in 2021?
So,
Have you fixed it?
I have explained.
That is a yes or no answer.
How
And the
can I fix
answer
it?
is no, you have not
think-
fixed
You
it.
think any contractor will come and do the work for free?
We don't care.
You don't care, so
We
where
want
should I
you
get
to
the
fix
money
your
from?
house.
Ma'am,
not
the
working.
question is not how much it's going to cost. The question is, you have to do it.
Yes, so we are working on it.
We-
We are
well-
trying to get insurance to pay for it. What else we can do?
There are other remedies.
Like
Sell the house.
I have 3 kids, so we should be without a house?
Buy another one.
You're without a house now.
If we don't have money, how can we buy another house?
Were you
It's not-
saying something, Bob?
Yeah, at this point, Mr. Chairman, let's get all the evidence in, and then let's let the commission make some decision going forward. Just for the record, Desiree sent me at 6:15 this evening, a petition that was filed. It appears to be on 1/23/26 from Mr. Ahmad against State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance. And then there was an accompanying letter that Ms. Volman sent to me at 6:15, which she received. And just for the record, we didn't have any knowledge of this until after this meeting was called to order and a chance to respond to Mr. Woodruff, who apparently represents Mr. and Mrs. Ahmad. And so just so that the commission is aware of that fact.
So you said, Bob, you said on 123 it was insurance, but it was automobile insurance?
No, the insurance, it says it is a claim against State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company. So State Farm
Just the
was
name of the company, sorry.
originally an insurance company for automobiles, but they have expanded. They have homeowners insurance and provide homeowners insurance. So that's just how the case is filed against that company. But I don't know if they have insurance or not. I don't know.
Gotcha. And maybe a question.
I
Bob,
just
then the-
want you guys to understand that that suit was filed on 1/23/26.
Right. So maybe, Bob, just a question here so that we can clarify in order to move forward with the business of the commission, as you put it. If we make a decision as the commission to move forward with kind of the outlay and the plans established at previous meetings and expectations and deadlines not met, if we follow through with any sort of orders revolving around potential for demolition, the homeowners still have the ability to work with the city and actually engage with the city in remediation of the property, even if we pass the order of demolition?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Y'all may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. Any others to speak about this case? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing, open it to the board. I see a problem, but I see that these folks have issues. I do see that there's a lot of stagnation. I don't see anything moving forward, and I don't foresee that it will move forward.
I get there's a pattern. I get that there's emotional things here, and I don't want to discount that on both sides, both of the neighborhood and of the homeowners. I think that hearing with recent information, even as late, I mean, turning it in at the last minute type thing, but literally after the hearing has started, but hearing some sort of date now communicated, and trying to take that into account. I don't know, the recommendation for staff was for 30, 60, or 90 days. If there's a way, because of that date, to take that into account, I'm not going to put the number on it if somebody else wants to make a recommendation.
I would think that if we went ahead and if we were to make the recommendation for demolition, it doesn't mean that we have to go through with it. It
just authorizes the city.
We just authorize the use of it within 30 days if action's not taken, and if action's taken, then we'll if definitive steps are made and permits are issued, engineers' reports are submitted as requested, and everything goes along, then we might be able to, then the building official would probably be able to go ahead. But
Mr. Chairman, here's what I would recommend. I don't know Mr. Woodruff, but if you would consider a 60-day order, I will call Mr. Woodruff tomorrow morning. and find out what's gonna happen with this. And that gives the Ahmads the ability to work with Ms. Fullman and with Mr. Schubert, our building official, and see if we can come up with a plan. And if a plan is a reasonable plan, and if a reasonable plan is on the horizon, that would give everyone an opportunity to perform, and then within that 60 days, at least start the process. If I can get the process started, it's the fact, without any further comment, I think the commission's right. This has gone on way too long. And when we have this kind of non-responsiveness, this is where we are. And unfortunately for us, this is not the first time this has happened. Generally, when the commission does take a very concrete and specific action, we either get compliance or we have a plan that gets executed. I don't need to remind, and I'll remind since we do have new members, we had similar incident in another part of town with another individual that had similar kinds of damage, similar kinds of non-compliance, and we worked through that. It took us 14 months, but we worked through it and got the house back up, occupied, and repaired. I don't want the Ahmad's house. I doubt that the neighbors want the Ahmad's house, but they want it fixed. And our job here is to make sure that the property owner maintains their property in accordance with the code. And that's what your object has always been. I will say on behalf of the city, these allegations against Ms. Woolman or anybody in the building inspection department or the code enforcement office or the building official's office that we have conspired with the neighbors is specious. It has no substance. It's a bald accusation and should not stand. All we want is his house fixed. That's all the neighbors want. And I doubt that the neighbors really want another piece of real estate they have to deal with, other than their own home. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Entertain a motion.
I may ask it for any sort of, if we're not making a motion yet. Sorry, I was like, look, yeah, I had a question about even when we do take action and make decision, maybe for Bob, but two questions. Do we need to include that the city will proceed with the demolition and assess costs and civil penalties and other remedies as authorized by law? Does that need to be stated in the motion as well?
I would prefer it to, yes, sir.
Okay, and then additionally, would it also need to state if the commission is looking to levy any penalties for noncompliance, it needs to be in the motion as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. You go ahead.
Given everything going on, I'm fine with 60 days. It seems like the only progress we've seen in 5 years is a letter from attorney that shows up 15 minutes after we start our meeting. Do we want to consider the civil penalties in light of that? Still. Does anyone?
I think potentially with noncompliance,
I believe so,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the penalty will be.
I will
after
say
the
this,
time.
if we are making
After the time,
progress,
so.
I have no problem foregoing the penalties or asking the commission to consider foregoing the penalties at a later date, but I think that we need to use every tool that we have in our toolkit to try to get this house repaired. And that would include imposing the penalties. If we're making progress, substantive progress, I would ask the commission to reconsider that, and we can reform the order accordingly, assuming that we get.
But included initially.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have no problem imposing the penalties. I will represent to both the Ahmads and the commission that will forego those penalties in the event that we have reasonable, substantive progress on the repair of this home.
Okay.
And the penalties would start after the noncompliance.
After
60 days after
60
the
days.
After the
signing of
60
order.
days.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. Yeah, if there aren't any other things, I could make a motion on it.
And the penalty is about $100 a day?
$100 a day
Okay, yeah,
would typically be it, yeah.
yes.
It's going to be a long motion, so I was just making sure everybody's ready, because there's a lot to say on that one. Good deal. I would make a motion that the commission issue an order directing the property owners to demolish the substandard structure at 631 Stratford Lane, and that the demolition be completed no later than 60 days from the date that order is signed. And should the owners fail to comply with the prescribed time frame, the city would then proceed with demolition and assess all associated costs to the owners, in addition to pursuing any civil penalties and other remedies as authorized by law. And should the property owners not meet the requirements under this order and those existing actions, then there will be levied a fine of $100 per day at that time. So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, as a result of the motion, I would ask that Ms. Fullman prepare the appropriate order to reflect the commission's decision in this case, and that you execute the same for and on behalf of the commission, and we'll move forward from there. Thank you.
Okay. What he said. Okay. All right. Item number 9, National Electric Code. I have a public hearing to held to consider the adoption of the 2026 National Electric Code with amendments set forth. Steve?
Well, in lieu of going through the adoption tonight, right now, all I'm doing is doing an introduction to it. Tonight is just to give you guys an idea of what we're getting into with the adoption of the 2026 National Electrical Code, what it's going to take, and what I'm proposing. Right now, for presentation, what I have is a quick mock-up of what the changes would be moving forward with the 2026 National Electrical Code. So I have taken the 2023 National Electrical Code adoption and just did some track changes on it to change the sections to 2026. And towards the end, at this point, I've also changed it to correct a verbal error. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Texas has a Homesteaders Act. Texas Homesteaders Act has absolutely nothing to do with the homestead exemption on your taxes. The Texas Homesteaders Act provides people who own the property and it is their primary residence to be able to perform certain licensed scopes of work without benefit of license. So if it is your primary residence, you own the property, your water heater goes out, by golly, you have the authority to be able to pull a plumbing permit, because you have to have a plumbing permit to replace a water heater, but you have the authority to pull that plumber's permit by yourself, get the water heater, get it replaced, get the inspections performed. You know, all this section is adding in the verbiage of as their primary residence. And then back here, I have the references to something that the city had under the 2023 National Electrical Code, which was making us more stringent than state law, and is just striking those two sections, since those two sections have been superseded by the 89th legislation, Senate Bill 1252, not allowing us to be able to restrict the installation of backup battery systems for houses. So that's really going to be about it. My plan is to email these out along with links to the National Electrical Code 2026 changes from the 2023, so that if there's any other changes that are anybody on the commission feels are relevant, you can actually propose those to be amendments to be added to our code adoption. That's about it. I know you guys had a lot more exciting things going on this evening, but that's going to be about it for me.
Shocking presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Steve? Okay, I'd like to admit his presentation as evidence. And
I would take that, Mr. Chairman, that there's no action tonight. It was only educational. And Steve, do you, when will you request the recommendation so it can go forward to council?
Well, the 2026 National Electrical Code is going to be adopted by the state of Texas effective September 1st of 2026. So once we get a better idea of the additional code cases that were brought forth tonight, if and when we need to have a next hearing on those, we'll make an educated decision on when is best to actually follow through with that presentation at that time. So that way we're not taking the commission's time up to come in just for one item and then come back in the next month for another item.
Okay, very good.
All right, is there, if there's any other business, I will go ahead and I adjourn the meeting. Time now is 8:10.